have outlined, I want to mention briefly a few key areas that will help us build that future. The City UK is a new organisation to promote all UK-based financial services. Independent.
My Lord Mayor, my late Lord Mayor, you acted together in the last year to stop a recession becoming. So that is why I say the Afghan campaign is being prosecuted not from choice, but out of necessity. And vigilance in defence of national security will never be sacrificed to expedience. Necessary resolution will never succumb to appeasement. The greater international good will never be subordinated to the mood of the passing moment.
Lord Mayor, as you did, I will look to promote the commitment which city firms and institutions delivery.
Following the inauguration this week of President Karzai, I am urging him to set out his contract between the new government and its people, including early action on corruption. And I welcome today's announcement that the government in Afghanistan will dedicate the next 5 years to fighting corruption. I have pledged UK support in this effort, but we will require this effort to be undertaken.
How many of these people would the current system allow in today?
It should identify a process for transferring district by district to full Afghan control, and if at all possible, we should set a timetable for transferring districts to Afghan control starting next year in 2010. And I believe that while we are only halfway through, we are in Afghanistan because we judge that if the Taliban regained power, al-Qaida and other terrorist groups would once more have an environment in which they could freely operate. We are there because action in Afghanistan is not an alternative to action in Pakistan, but an inseparable support to it. Campaign against poverty and injustice. Britain is prepared to lead the way, proposing a financial plan to ensure that all countries, poor as well as rich, are in a position to cut carbon emissions. And this should form part of a comprehensive agreement based on politically binding commitments by all countries, which can then be implemented immediately, which can act as a basis for an internationally legally binding treaty as soon as possible. And the agreement must contain the full range of commitments required: emissions reductions by both developed and developing countries, proper verification of that, and finance to support this task. On October the 1st, we offered Tehran engagement and negotiation. Over the last 6 weeks, that offer has been rejected. So it is now not only right but necessary for the world to apply concerted pressure to the Iranian regime. President Obama has set the deadline of the end of the year for Iran to respond. And if Iran does not reconsider, then the United Nations, the European Union, and individual countries led by Britain will impose tougher sanctions.